our spirit. What is it? Where does it go? Are we able to see them using our mind's eye? If so, just what can spirit teach us? Welcome to School Through Spirit. Host DeEtte Renee is a certified psychic medium and master teacher of psychic and mediumship development through LWISSD. DeEtte was born knowing spirit and now is here to help you better understand the spirit world. And now your host, DeEtte Renee.
Good Monday morning, everybody. This is DeEtte here, School Through Spirit with the Edge Network, coming to you on Monday, December 22nd. We just show up here to bring a little bit of awareness to life, hopefully make things a little bit easier, maybe bring some understanding, just to, uplift us a little bit. So as we know, each week I do speak about something for roughly 30 minutes, and then we take a break and I go into a highlighted deck. As we know, that's our 5-card stud. And this is, if you can see it, the Beloved Dead. The Beloved Dead. This deck is an oracle for divining ancestral wisdom. So a little bit different, a little interesting, but considering this is Christmas week, why not? Why not bring the ancestors into it? I thought this was quite unique when I reached on, grabbed a deck, and this is what popped up. I was like, oh, well, there you go. We got the ghost of Christmas spirit, the ghost of past, the ghost of present, the ghost of future. And they're all yours. They're all yours. So this will be fun to get into. So starting off with this, it's not a lot to read, guys. It's short. It's sweet. I don't need glasses for this. It says, true masters are those who have chosen to make a life rather than make a living. Ugh, that's you know what? Very few words here. Yes. Very, very few words. Big concept. It's a huge concept. And honestly, when I flipped to this and I seen it, I was like, oh, is that really where I want to go? Is that where I want to challenge people? And I will tell you what, yes, it is. So often we want to, we get stuck in this going for the buck. Where's that money going to come in from? How am I going to pay my bills? I need to work hard to get anything that I want. And it begins this dynamic of life that really is just, we're following the leader. Always. We're getting a routine. And the routine is literally for years. We go, we wake up, we hate Mondays. Monday's here. We hate Mondays, right? Because we have to get up. It starts our work week. You get up, you get ready, you get your breakfast together, you get your lunch together, you get out the door, you drive the same rat race to get to where you have to get. And when you get there, you're doing the same stuff that you did last week. Doesn't change. It's the same building. It's the same this. It's the same that. It's literally Monday through Friday or whatever your work week is, the same stuff. To the penny what your paycheck's going to be. There's not going to be a bonus because bonus doesn't come until whatever time of the year. There's not going to be a raise because the raise only comes at whatever time of the year. So that your paycheck, providing you work the same amount of hours, which you usually do, is going to be the same. Even at the end of the day, you drive home the same way. You stop to do the same errands. Now, errands might change from day to day, but every week you still have to get groceries. You still have to get gas. You still have to do those certain things. Okay? You still go home. You make the dinner. You eat the dinner. You clean up the dinner. You play with the kids for a little bit. You tuck them into bed. You have an hour worth of TV time. You go to sleep just to start all over again tomorrow. All the while, saving up for maybe that vacation or a car or trying to pay off bills. It's always we go, go, go. Even when the weekend comes, we don't change much. We're creatures of habit. And we need that weekend to take a break from our week. And we tend to, again, do the same things that we did during the week because we're creatures of habit. We had fun. Let's go do it again and again and again. And it's crazy the monotony that we create. And the biggest thing we have is a complaint that we're not getting anywhere in life. We're not getting anywhere. We have no place we're going. There's nothing that's going, this is what life's about. And you wonder why through the years you don't have growth. You don't have a change in understanding. You don't know where you're going. Or you can have the same conversations in 10 years that you're having today because the thought process stayed the same and nothing really changed in your dynamics. Yeah, you might have gotten a little bit more skilled at, navigating the freeway. Or maybe you raised some children to that time and got some wisdom through that. But honestly, you're always chasing that dollar. Because if I don't get up and go to work and do this job, I'm not going to get a paycheck. And I'm not going to get that paycheck. I can't pay my bills. And then what am I going to do? If I have no food on the table, or I don't have a car to drive, or if I don't have a roof over my head, again, we get in that cycle of money. And what it is we're trying to make a living. We're trying to make a better living than we had before. So we're constantly doing. We're constantly in that mindset of, I need to make money. I need to do something else. And then we find that we're not having changes. So what's the biggest thing you need to do here? Now, doesn't mean everybody just get up and quit your job all willy-nilly and sell your house and move across country. Although if you want to do that, by all means, go do it. If those are choices that you want to make in life, those are your choices to make. But when you stop going, I'm going to save every penny to get my car. I'm going to save every penny to get my house. You're going to stop that wheeling and dealing you're doing of making a living. Some of the best people I know in their 30s have midlife crises. They just quit. Life changes. You hear about people doing it in their 40s and their 50s, but people are doing it much earlier. And what you're finding is, and sometimes younger, is that when we're in school, when we're in high school, and we don't know what the heck we want to do, because quite frankly, I don't think anybody should have to make the decision at 18 to 25 what you want to do for the rest of your life, because I'm sorry, you're just making poor decisions. You don't even know what you want, let alone what you want to do for the rest of your life. But you have children making decisions and what they want to do, not necessarily on what is going to completely and totally make them happy, but what is reliable for them. I know that's what I did. When I went to school to be a nurse, that was not what I wanted to do. That was the farthest thing from my mind. Matter of fact, my best friend in the world was in her 50s, and she was going off to be a nurse. And I can remember her passion and her want to do this. And I was in awe. Like, oh my God, how'd you figure that out? She's like, I'm in my 50s. I finally figured out what I wanted to do. Makes sense. I was in my 20s. And the only thing I knew I didn't want to do was that. But I had my mom in my head saying, hey, do this, get your degree. You'll always have something reliable to fall back on. And it instantly put me in the path to making a living. Making a living, making money, supporting my kids, putting a roof over my head, doing all those things we are supposed to do. And I started to have my crisis in my 30s, although I didn't act on it until my 40s. And what happened was when I started to have my crisis, I started to recognize that I didn't like what I was doing. I hated it. Did I do it? Yeah. When I showed up, I did a great job. I was there. I liked the people. I loved the patients. But it wasn't for me. I was making money. I was constantly chasing a buck. So when my crisis came, I found a different job within the whole world of healthcare. And I went agency. Yeah, no, agency's kind of got a bad name these days, but it didn't always have that name. It was because even though I was still chasing that dollar, because I clearly got paid more than the rest, but I didn't get benefits and I didn't get job security. I just got more money an hour. But I found that I could constantly shift where I was working at and kind of fool my mind that I was doing stuff to make me happy versus a job just to make money. And when that wore out, that's when spirituality and metaphysics showed up in my life. Now, I'd already been dealing with it. I'd already been dabbling here and dabbling there with different things of divination and Ouija boards and oracle cards and pendulums and all this stuff. But it's when I became Reiki. And I will tell you, that's probably when my life started to shift. And I got confused. I got very confused. Why? Because I was learning not to chase a dollar. I was learning to not chase a way of life, of living to make a living. It started to shift me. And it left me in a state of confusion for some years. Matter of fact, right into my 40s. And that probably went on for 5 or 6 years, maybe 7. Until my whole life just literally crumbled. And any source of making a living had fallen out, was gone. See, I was an LPN with a lot of experience under her tush. I was flying the country, I was doing health education. I was coming home on the weekends and I was working at a nursing home, specializing in cleaning up a mess. I was really good at what I did. Lots of knowledge and tons of experience. But when the jobs came to an end as an LPN, I was way overqualified for anything I could apply to. So I was being told, no, you can't get the job. We can't afford you as an LPN. Okay. So I went to the local video store because I needed money and I applied. Yeah, you're overqualified. And that's what I got every time I turned around. And I started to realize maybe, just maybe, I was doing things wrong. And I didn't know what that meant. I just knew I wanted to run away. And I did that. One day I made the decision my life was going nowhere very fast. I had no clue what was going on. I just wanted to run. I wanted to hide. I wanted to leave everything I knew behind me. And I did. I literally rented a storage unit and I put all my stuff in a storage unit. And I ran 5 hours north of me. When I got there, no clue what I was going to do. I just knew I was not going to go to the hospital for a job. I was not going into medical. I even remember applying to a home care position for a private lady. And I went in there, had the interview. She said I was a shoo and she wanted me. And when I went home, I just couldn't say yes. Because I was doing the same stuff all over again. And that didn't make me happy. Instead, I went back to my youth and I went and got a job as a server. I know, in my 40s, running around with a bunch of teenagers or just above teenagers and some teenagers. More lost than I was prior. And I was reminded of something the other day during that time period. Because I'd taken a job at the original Famous Days and that's where I was working. And I was chasing the money and the living more than I ever had before because I was a server and I was chasing the tip. Clearly, my wages were not going to cut the bill, but tips would. And I could make a lot of them. And I did. Hundreds of dollars a night in tips serving food. It was great, at least during season. And I'll never forget because it was November 3rd of 2014. And a couple of customers came in and they said, hey, you got time talking? I said, it's kind of busy. It's a Sunday right now. I said, if you want to come back later, I'm closing. He said, not a problem. They came back later. And they were the only people in the restaurant. And so I was able to give them lots of attention. And they were friends also. So we were talking and And I was talking about spirituality, and they were asking me questions about it, and they were asking me different things about it. And I was talking about being Reiki and this and that. And I wasn't a psychic, and I wasn't medium yet, and I didn't even know really what those terms were very much, other than I went to get readings. I didn't know what it entailed. And I remember telling them I thought I was doing the wrong things again. I'd found myself back in the same place I was a couple years ago, chasing a dollar, chasing a living, and not having any comprehension as to what was going to make me happy, what was going to make me a master of my life. I didn't know. I had nothing to run to. So my friend was having some soreness or stiffness. I don't really remember. But I asked if I could give him some Reiki. And he said, yeah, no problem. He didn't know what it was, blah, blah, blah. And apparently, and I do remember giving him some energy. Opening up and letting the energy go through. I remember that. And other than that, I didn't remember much of that, conversation. Because quite clearly they left, they paid their bill, and I sent them out the front door, and I locked the door, and I gathered my stuff, and I said goodbye to one of the managers and a couple of the crew cleaning the kitchen. I said, I'll see you in the morning. So I was supposed to be back early in the morning to clean the next morning. Of which that night the restaurant burnt down. My life dramatically changed. What I didn't remember and didn't understand, and it was just brought to my attention this last week because I had a conversation, just talked to this person, this friend, after a few years. And he said, I'll never forget it because you were there on my back and you were giving me energy. And he said, out of nowhere, you were talking about how hot it was. How hot. I said, okay. And he goes, that's the night the building burnt. And he goes, and it started in that corner. He goes, I think you were picking that up and not even knowing it. And it blew my mind because in a very short amount of time, I recognized not only did I know I needed to stop chasing a dollar, I had to stop chasing making a living. At the same time, I was getting information from a source I had no clue and didn't even remember getting the next day. And at that moment, that night, my life began to change. Why? Because I stopped chasing the dollar. I stopped chasing to buy the car, to get the house, for the best clothes. And I started chasing understanding and knowledge and growth. I was a person that didn't know what a friendship was. Didn't really know what they were. My life did not entail getting friends. I didn't understand a lot of things. I knew work. That's what I got. I knew how to apply myself. I knew how to go and have fun on the weekends. But in none of that did I understand what it was to make a life. And through a course of journey of years, and trust me, guys, remember, this is 2014. It is now 2025. Literally 11 years and a few weeks, 11 years and 6 weeks, whatever. I have had that time to stop chasing the dollar and to start chasing understanding, start chasing growth, evolution. What's this life about? How do you experience it? Where do I go to get this knowledge? Guys, I have chased books and read books I never thought I would ever read. This book came into my life, and you know what? It was an easy read because I could literally grab one page, look at it, and study it. But it started to shift. And the shift was becoming a master of my own life. Now, it's funny because during this course of 11 years, not only did I become a certified psychic medium, and this is a person that literally I knew what a psychic was because I went and got readings from him, but a medium, I didn't believe in talking to the dead. Come on. I knew they were there. I knew way back in the day I was told I was going to do this, but really, come on. That's where I sat with it. I had no clue my life was going to shift into what it has. I didn't plan this. I didn't scam my way through it. It evolved. And it naturally opened up as I walked through it. I became a psychic medium, a certified one. Quite honestly, I think I stumbled upon it whether I wanted to or not. It was placed in front of me and I said, let's do it. It's free. Nothing better to do. I don't have a job. Building burnt down. It's winter. Can't get a job where I'm living. Not at this time of the year. And I fell into it. And within a year of that building burning, not only did I really begin my psychic journey, because that was when I started with my original teacher. And I certified through her. And I helped her teach within her own school. Like within a year, I was doing that. I evolved to that point. Why? Because I finally got out of the point of I'm trying to make a buck. Did I go and get another job? I did. By spring, I was in another serving position because I was in a community that was an easy job to get. But I wasn't going to even come close to making the amount of money I was making before. The establishment itself was only as big as one section was at my old place. Couldn't have the turnover. The bills weren't going to be as big. The tips were not going to be there. So I understood that I wasn't going to make the money. I was making enough money. I also had a couple other jobs to make enough money. So even while I was growing, I was still trying to make a living. But what I found, even though, like, I would clean cabins and I would tell them what I was getting, they're like, are you crazy? You're really doing that for $10 an hour? Yeah. I get paid $100 a cabin. Oh. I didn't switch jobs. I stayed where I was. Because I decided I wasn't going to chase the dollar anymore. There had to be something more than chasing making a living. Within a year of finishing with my first instructor, I jumped into my second one. 4 or 5 months later, I was certified. And then I jumped into her master teacher program to learn to teach. And although I'd gone through a lot in that class, understanding, it was all growth. Nothing was clicking. Nothing in my mentality was clicking to say, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Again, I was chasing something. I was never stopping long enough for it to come to me. All I did was chase. Chase a dollar, chase a way of life, chase this, chase that. Something over the course of the last 4 years for me has finally shifted. Now, yes, this started years ago, but it took a shift, a click, a turning on of a light bulb that went, why are you chasing something all the time? Chasing to make a living, chasing to pay off my bills, chasing to get a better credit score. It wasn't until those things started to click that I went, wait a second. What's going to make me happy? What makes me happy is seeing the light bulbs go off in other people's faces. When I get to show up, when I get to make a difference, when I have a little bit better understanding of something than I did before, with the full knowledge, knowing that I still don't even come close to having enough knowledge to understand what it has anything to do with. And knowing the knowledge I have today is going to shift and turn and change and be something tomorrow that's totally different. And understand the growth of this. Because that's becoming a master of your own life. And understanding that by the time I die, I'm still only going to know this much of a whole world. And even knowing this much, I'm going to feel like the most beautiful, powerful, wisdomful person, because my mind is going to explode with what's inside of there. But it still won't be a full remembrance. And that's okay. I can come back multiple lives to do that. But what has happened is I stopped chasing the dollar. I stopped chasing the way of living. I stopped chasing to pay off my bills. I stopped chasing to do all this. Matter of fact, when somebody looks at me and says, oh, you shouldn't spend your money because you don't have enough money to cover this, that, my first thought is, how do you know how much money I have? And what's it your business if I'm spending my money or not? Those are things I don't share with people. Why? Because my money is no longer an object in my mind. And the coolest thing is, as I've shifted and started working towards a passion, the biggest thing happened. Money started coming to me. It shifted. Why? Because the universe knows I need money to make it in this lifetime. We are way past the days of trading eggs and goats and milk. We're way past that. So the universe knows to send money. And it might be in the course of doing a class or teaching a reading or a tip or whatever, or be invited to go someplace. The money's always going to be there. Matter of fact, more opportunities and a bigger paycheck will be there, the less I chase the dollar and the more I chase my passion. And that's what people don't realize. When you start to chase your passion, you start to live your passion, and you give up the idea of running with the Rockefellers, all of a sudden you surpass the Rockefellers. And you do it you didn't even know. Somebody once told me the rich are rich because they don't worry about money. And I didn't understand that. I never got that. And it's taken me time to figure that out. The rich are rich because they don't have to worry about money, number one. But number two, making money isn't their passion. Doing what they do is their passion. And that's what they're constantly living for, is what they do. The deal, the sale, the increased knowledge, the increased workflow, that is their passion. And the money's just part of it. It just shows up. Now, what if today you started living your dreams? What if today you decided that what you're doing for a living was not what you ever wanted to do, just like those 30-year-olds are doing? And what if today you decide to chase what you wanted instead of the dollar? Do you think you'd find happiness? Do you think you'd find a better way of life? I think you would. I think you'd have so much growth you wouldn't know if you were coming or going. But then again, that's up to you. What kind of life do you want to live? For me, I'm going to keep chasing my passion. And trust me when I tell you that changes quite often. That's okay, because it just gives me more growth. So in this lifetime, I'm going to attempt to be that master. That's what I choose. You're going to decide what you choose. With that being said, guys, we're going to take a few moments station break, and we'll be right back with you with School Through Spirit on the Edge Network. See you in a few.
Is your space aligned with your dreams? Do you feel inspired when you walk in the door? Carol Heider can help you create a space that you love, where you thrive, and where you always want to be. Using her 29 years of experience as a feng shui consultant, teacher, author, and trainer, she can help you bring forth the inspired essence of your home or office, making a place where you feel whole and safe. Learn the specific feng shui adjustments that Carol has seen as the most important, such as determining which room in your home should be your favorite, why your stove may be affecting your health, and why your office may be holding you back. Contact Carol at 612-823-5433 888-888-5093 or carolhyder.com to discuss the specifics with a personal appointment. By elevating the energy of your space, it becomes sacred and you will be forever changed. Contact Carol at Carol Hyder, that's CarolHyder.com.
Explore your path to higher consciousness with Kelly Wagner. Meet Kelly Wagner, a visionary founding member of the Community for Higher Consciousness, ready to illuminate your way and empower you to live your best life. With her unique set of tools as a knower and seer, Kelly goes beyond surface-level problems, uncovering the why behind your challenges. She fearlessly asks the questions that lead to the ultimate truth. Kelly's insatiable tenacity ensures that you receive top-notch creative solutions. Brace yourself for a journey of self-discovery and empowerment as Kelly taps into her innate gifts, guiding you toward a life of fulfillment and purpose. As a psychic medium Reiki practitioner, co-host of The Being Curious Show, publisher of Edge Magazine, and master connector, Kelly's transformative approach creates win-win partnerships here, there, and everywhere. Let Kelly ignite your potential. Contact Kelly at edgemagazine.net and step towards a life aligned with higher consciousness. Discover more at you'vegotkelly.com.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. This is DeEtte, School Through Spirit with the Edge Network, with our highlighted deck of the 5-card stud. This is the Beloved Dead, an oracle for divining ancestral wisdom. This is by Carrie and Tina Hardt. This is Weiser Books publication. This has got weight to it. So let's check it out. Let's open it up. Let's see what this is about. Oh my gosh. Okay. This one's a little bit easier. Thank God they didn't shrink wreck it with some tough stuff. Okay, so, oh, beautiful back. Gorgeous back. I love the antiquing type of covers. It says a hauntingly appealing divination deck. Your collective family of ancestor archetypes await you in the Beloved Dead Oracle. They will have a lot to say about your day-to-day interactions, interpersonal dynamics, and inner life. Ask the Beloved Dead a question and connect with consciousness that has left the land of form and now resides energetically as spirit. Every spirit in this deck is a bright star in the constellation that lights your soul's enchanted path to the unlimited potential that is the future. These are the voices of your protective and guiding ancestors, spirit helpers who understand that there's great work to be done every minute you spend on this side of the veil. I love it. This is an 82-card deck with a 144-page full color guidebook. So, I love these books. It almost talks to you. Look at, oh my God, that's gorgeous. Look at that. I mean, this is a book, but is that not gorgeous? Love it already. Okay, this is a big book. This has got some weight to it. Colored pictures, not huge, but definitely colored pictures. Kind of like that. We know we like that. So there's a lot to read in each one. So it'll be interesting. Expectation. Each card looks like it's got a beautiful picture. It's got some words on there. It's got, you can go to the book to find out what the full meaning of the card means, which is not a bad deal. It does have in the back, I like this, in the back it's got some different spreads, card spreads you can put, so it gives a little bit of, hey, how do you work this deck, or different possibilities, which is kind of nice. It's also got some bigger spreads. I kind of like this. Oh my gosh. It's got the Beloved Dead spread, the Beloved Dead spread positions. It's literally got 12 positions for that, which is kind of cool. And then, of course, it tells you which each position is. The Pillar of Personal Power position. Again, it's another big spread where you can really get in some depth on that. I love those type of things. It's also got some different options for that. So I kind of like that. I won't even lie. I love the fact that it gives you options how to use this card deck, which I really like. I like that. There we go. So we like the book. I like the books. I think I could get into that book and really learn a lot from the book, which is weird. It's not too often I get into a book and go, oh my God, I want to read this book. So I like that. So thick deck. Look at that gold. Oh my God. I love that. Gorgeous. Simply gorgeous. Love that. So we're going to these cards. They're heavier here than they were in the deck. And it's funny because somebody once taught me if something's heavy, it's got a lot of meaning in there. So I'm going to tell you, these cards feel like they got a lot of meaning. So 5 card stud, what are we doing? What we are doing is I'm going to shuffle the deck and pull 5 individual cards. I'm going to read each of these cards individually, each one being a singular reading. When I get done with each singular reading, I may go back through, look at all the cards, and do it as a whole. Okay? What do? You get to pick a number. You get to pick a number because basically all I'm going to say in my head is, what do you guys need to know this week? The week of December 22nd. That's it. That's it. You're going to pick a number because you know your life. You know your situations. You can pick 1 number, 2 numbers. You can pick all the numbers. You can pick all the numbers plus the reading at the end, whatever you want. This is yours. You can also, if you'd like, have several situations. You can, document those situations and put numbers next to them and get a little bit of guidance for each one. So that's what 5 card stud is. That's all it is. It's just a lot of fun with cards. We're highlighting the deck because, quite frankly, I have been disheartened in the past going to buy decks that I wasn't really been able to see them, didn't know how they worked, and spending a lot of money I didn't have on decks that I never used. They look very pretty on the wall, but I had no connection. So I found that sometimes if I can highlight a deck and I can show you those, people like those decks. They go and buy those decks. And I get more comments from people going, oh my God, I went and bought that deck after you highlighted and they loved it. So to me, I just like doing that. Plus it helps get some of these decks, people wrote them, created them, whether it's a brand new publisher, a self-publishing, one that's been around for a long time. It helps bring awareness to them and just kind of help spread the love. So there you go. So deck is shuffled and we're going to card number 1, Act of Love. Be you. Oh, I love that card. I love that card. We're looking at this card number 1. I love the dynamics when I see that person. They're in all their glory. They have got some pantaloon pants on. They got some sort of a tied up bustier, not sure, some crafted wings. They are in all their glory. They are celebrating themselves. And that's what this is about. It's about being yourself in this situation called your life. Okay? You're looking at stuff going, how am I going to be happy? How am I going to make this work? This is my dilemma. I don't know what to do. You need to show up as yourself. Being someplace else, being somebody else is not going to jive. How are you going to keep that act up? How are you going to keep doing that? Showing up, being yourself, being your own creative self is really what's going to be the nature of the game on this one. And it's the only thing you really know well. So be you. Okay? It's what's going to get you through. Card number 2. Card number 2 is vanity. Vanity. Never a good thing. Vanity. I like that. But I will tell you what, vanity, I don't think this card to me is necessarily looking in and going, oh, look at all this. Look at all this. I don't think it's necessarily that. Vanity, I know it's supposed to take one take, but what I'm seeing is this person, they look one way in their face, but when you look in the mirror, I'm seeing a bigger picture of them. And I think that's kind of the way this card is looking. You need to take some time to look in the mirror. You need to take some time to look at yourself. Okay. This isn't about vanity. This is the act of vanity for you to figure out who you are. You've had a lot of changes happening, a lot of growth, a lot of things have shifted. And I don't believe if you pick card number 2, you know who that person is anymore. You're making decisions and doing things on the old way of you, not the new way. So take some time to look at yourself, look at it and know which way you're going. That's going to be your best route. Card number 3. Card number 3 is the Martyr. The Martyr. Oh my God. The Martyr card. Oh my God. Everybody says, don't be a martyr. Don't be a martyr. And honestly, I think that's what we're looking at. Don't be a martyr. Don't be a martyr. Why? Martyrs never get very far, do they? They got to wait until they're dead to really become something. You know, you don't get to be a saint until you're dead. You don't get to be a martyr until you're dead. Honestly, what are you doing it for? Okay. You're following your life. You're doing your life. You're trying to do the best you can. Are you doing it for yourself or are you doing it for somebody else? Okay. Martyrs do it for everybody else, or at least that's what their goal plan is to do in life for everybody else. But unfortunately, they're not recognized until they're dead. If any one martyr had actually showed up and did it for themselves versus somebody else, they would have found they were much happier in life and maybe not giving everything until the day they died. Okay. So don't be a martyr. Start to realize what you're doing it for you and not for anybody else. If you feel like, oh my God, I'm the one doing all the work here, why? Is it because they're not showing up, or is it because you just want to do it? If it's because you want to do it, then change your attitude and start doing it with a smile on your face. And don't complain that they're not showing up to do the job. If you honestly feel like you're doing all the work and you're not happy with it, quit doing it. Go find another job. Do whatever. Start realizing you need to work for you. You need to do things for you. You need to make you happy before you can make anybody else happy. Good old sound advice. Card number 4, if I can get it, is ancestry. Oh, was wondering if that was going to come up. Ancestry. Look at that. You can clearly see this as a little boy with a mom or a dad or a grandma or grandpa influencing. I'm going to say influencing. You know, you're looking at yourself and you're going, you know, this card is coming up, and almost what I'm hearing in my head is, you know, people saying that we got ancestral curses. I'm just like my mom. I'm blah, blah, blah. You know, they remind me of grandpa, whatever this might be. Not that all that's bad stuff minus a curse thing. But honestly, some people get heavy, not because it's in the genes. It's because you still cook like mom or grandma did. Sometimes you have to look at the influence of your patriarchs and those that come from you before you, your ancestor. Look at their lessons. Look at what they gave you. Look at that understanding and change it for you. Okay? Shift it to you. Shift it to how you will deal with it in your life today. Not taking it and still trying to be just like them. That really got you nowhere, did it? Okay? Some ancestors were in horse and buggy, and now we have horsepower. So start to look at those shifts. It's going to be a big deal for you. Okay. Look at the ancestors for knowledge, but take that knowledge and use it for today's standards. And card number 5 is addiction. Okay. Addiction never helped anybody, just so you know. And it's not just addiction to alcohol or drugs or whatever. It can be addiction to work, addiction to love, addiction to staring at yourself in the mirror, whatever this is, addiction. This card is saying, start to look at it. Okay. If this is, you know, you do have one of those quote unquote addictions, it's time to start addressing that. If you're a workaholic, another addiction, start to address that. It's starting to say, stop looking at something because you're trying to fill something or fuel you with something to cover up something else. Okay. Again, this card is basically going in, looking within, digging deep, and asking you, why are you doing what you're doing? Why are you partaking this part in life? This card is saying it's time to start looking at addiction and heal from that addiction and start doing things in a much more healthy way. So card number 1 was the act of love, be you. Card number 2 was vanity. 3 was the martyr. 4 was ancestry. And 5 was addiction. Now, when I look at all these cards and I put them together, you know, I want to start with the first one and end with the first one. Why? Because honestly, I think this week is really about digging into, you know, you're shifting, you're growing. I think you're all kind of like stuck in the mud. You know, if you picked it as a whole, you're just stuck. You don't know where to go. You've been doing the same things over and over again. You've been doing what you've been taught, and it's not getting you anywhere. It's not getting you anywhere. So it's time to really start to dig into you. Figure out what you want, where you want to go. Dig deep into your soul. Figure this out and then bring that back out. Okay. When I say I want to start and end with this, with be you, this is about you this week. This is about you. It's not about anybody else. It's not about whether you have the job or not have the job, or whether somebody else is happy or not. This week is all about you looking at yourself. It is like, you know, why am I showing up? This is a time of change. I know the new year is right around the corner, but come on, guys, it's Christmas and miracles happen. Give yourself that gift. Look at yourself, dig deep in and say, what do I want? Who am I? Where do I want to go forward? And what do I want my next year to look like? I like this deck. I really do like this deck. I think this deck can get really deep. I do like it. Why? Because it's really going to give you, especially if you turn to the book and get their understanding, I think it's going to give you some depth. I think this book is really going to help you to kind of build out, especially in that self-love, self-growth type thing. I really like this deck for all of that. I really do. So with that being said, I hope you like it. Again, it was the Beloved Dead deck by Weiser Books. Now, where am I going to be this week? Well, we have Christmas and Christmas Eve, and I'm going to be there. But then on the 27th, on Saturday the 27th, you're going to find me in Red Wing, Minnesota. I am going to be I'm there with a team, a paranormal team. Oh my God. I'm like, what paranormal team am I with? I do know that I will be with Miss Patty Negri, or Patty Negri, not Negri. Patty Negri. Negri. Oh my God, I'm going to say it wrong every time, I guess. I apologize. She's a dear friend. I'm massacring her name. So we are doing a Christmas investigation, chilling historic Sheldon Theater up in Red Wing, Minnesota. We're doing a seance. Patty will be doing a seance at 7:15 p.m. I'll be doing a gallery at 9 p.m. And then we'll be doing an investigation, a paranormal investigation on site after the gallery. Okay. So the event goes from 7 until 2 a.m. So it's very reasonable hours. 2 a.m. I know we're going to be tired, but that's okay. If you're into paranormal, it's all about that. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be, again, the Christmas edition up to the Sheldon Theater. It's going to be so much fun. I can't even tell you. Oh my gosh, I'm losing my throat. I swear. So reach out, look online. You're going to find those tickets. It's going to be lots of fun. Again, Red Wing, Minnesota. Myself and Miss Patty are going to be having a great time. There you go. So that's where you're going to find me. And of course, right after that, we're going into the new year. So who knows? I am going to be everywhere in 2026. Everywhere. Things are happening. Things are jiving. And I cannot wait, because chasing my passion is creating the best world that I could possibly create for myself. So I hope you enjoyed today. We will see you next week in the new year. Y'all have a great day. I think it's the new year. Maybe it's not the new year. No, it won't be the new year yet. It'll be the last one of the year. Sorry for that, guys. We will see you next week, guys. This has been DeEtte, School Through Spirit with the Edge Network. See you soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
There are psychic mediums, but there is nothing like DeEtte. Let's face it, we all struggle time and again. But if you seek the clarity you deserve, then you need to seek DeEtte. As a master teacher, DeEtte studied under international psychic medium Lisa Williams. Together, they not only help DeEtte better tap into spirit, but also build a long-lasting relationship. So many psychics tell us what we want to hear, and that just won't cut it with DeEtte. She tells you what you need to hear. No sugarcoating here. To book a reading with DeEtte is simple. Just visit her website, DeEtte.us. That's DeEtte.us. And follow the Yellow Brick Road to connect with DeEtte. Don't just sit there and ponder those questions. Ask them and let DeEtte guide you every step of the way. You need insight now, and DeEtte can help. Just visit DeEtte.us. That's DeEtte.us.